Our trip to Rock Creek Canyon had some of the most beautiful scenery we have ever seen, and some of the most unexpected residents. Stick around to see how we handled both. We'll be staying at East Fork Campground, right in between Bishop and Mammoth Lakes, California, in the heart of the Eastern Sierra. Leaving Bishop behind, we point the rig north on the 395. The wall of the Sierra just explodes out of the valley floor in front of us. We're officially entering the Inyo National Forest, nearly 2 million acres of granite peaks and high-altitude adventure. Fortunately, our exit isn't impacted by all this construction. Our home for the next week is a spot we booked months ago at East Fork Campground. It's situated at nearly 10,000 feet, which means we're going to be living in the thin air from the moment we arrive. It's a true off-grid setup. No hookups, no cell service, just us, the trailer, and whatever power our solar panels can pull from the sun. And honestly, knowing our campground is at such a high elevation is a real concern. We had a tough bout with altitude sickness on our last trip, and that's an experience we're not looking to relive. So the plan is simple. Take it slow and listen to our bodies. But honestly, it's hard to stay worried for long when the canyon starts to look like this. Up here, the forest changes completely. The trees are thick, the air feels different, and every curve on the road reveals a view more stunning than the last. This is the payoff for the long climb. The outside world just disappears, and it's just us, the rig, and this incredible Sierra landscape. And there it is, East Fork Campground. The welcome board has all the usual reminders about bear safety and fire restrictions. It's a classic Forest Service setup out here. And here's our spot. Definitely looks a bit tighter in person than it does online. It might take a few tries, but we'll get in there. Nothing adds to the pressure of parking your rig like realizing you're holding up a small parade. Success, sort of. We're in the site, but our level is way off, which means it's time for my favorite tool, the shovel. And we're level. A brief moment of triumph, which lasts, of course, until we try to close the door and realize the stairs are sitting too high for it to clear. Yep, they're too high and the door won't close. So out comes the trusty shovel again, and it's funny, this shovel sits in the back of the truck for 5 years and we never touch it. Now, this season, it's the MVP. With that, the battle is won. It's a challenging sight for sure, but the payoff is a totally private spot with the sound of a little stream right outside our door. One of the best parts of life on the road is when your travels line up with family. We're joining my brother Mike and our friend Mary to meet the newest, fuzziest member of the crew, a little pup named Brandy. And what better way to say hello than a short hike along Rock Creek just outside of camp? As we're walking along the path, wait a second, those kids aren't on the path, they're in the creek. Okay, now we're just impressed. One of them is holding a healthy-sized trout that he apparently caught with his bare hands. This is the namesake of the canyon, Rock Creek. It's the cold, crystal-clear lifeblood of this entire place. This bridge drops us right back into the campground, just on the opposite loop from our site. It's the perfect excuse for a longer walk and a chance to do a little sightseeing. It's early the next morning, and the first order of business isn't coffee. I keep replaying the scratching sounds we heard last night, so the trap is the first thing we check. Okay, a closer look in the daylight confirms it. We've got a little stowaway. Well, hello there. Looks like our little stowaway is curious to see what's going on. All right, little guy, your stay at this campground is officially over. Time to take you on one last road trip to a new home, a few miles up the road. It sounds a little crazy, but you really do have to take them a couple of miles from camp, otherwise they can find their way back. This spot is perfect. No campgrounds or cabins anywhere nearby. Okay, time to open the door and, whoa, we weren't just dealing with a single stowaway, we were apparently running a bed and breakfast. So here's the ironic twist. We're shaking the trap, trying to set them free, but they're refusing to go. They're treating this thing like a luxury condo. Okay, 2 gone, but the other 2 are just hunkering down in the corners. I've flipped it over to see if the cover encourages them to leave. Nope, that doesn't work either. All right, progress. 3 down, 1 to go. This last one, though, is staging a full-on sit-in. He has 0 interest in leaving. Time for the last resort, the stick of persuasion. And with one final nudge, the mission is accomplished. The great mouse relocation of Rock Creek is over. And now, back to our regularly scheduled adventure, which today includes a stop at the historic Rock Creek Pack Station. If you dream of getting deep into the Sierra backcountry, and I mean really deep, but you aren't a serious mountaineer, well, this is how you do it. We poke our head in the office, but it's quiet. Looks like a lunch break. But as it turns out, our timing is perfect. We wander over to the picnic table to introduce ourselves and end up meeting the owner of the whole operation, Craig London.
Well, I'm Craig London, and this is Rock Creek Pack Station. We're at 10,000 feet, the gateway to the John Muir Wilderness. If you look over that mountain over there, that's Mount Star. There's a pass that goes over there, and 8 hours you're on the John Muir Trail. And then we go 4 directions out of Rock Creek. And Little Lakes Valley is one of the most famous areas. There's 60 lakes there. And we take people up there to camp overnight, or sometimes they'll just ride up for the day. And the best ride we have is like a day in the Sierra. On that ride, you arrive at 10, you're done at 4. For campers, they can have breakfast, get organized, come up here, take a nice ride, have lunch, be back in time, take a shower, get ready for dinner. We serve a lot of different people. The minimum age is 5. And I think tomorrow I have a trip leaving with one lady 86 and some people in their early 80s. So Rock Creek is a canyon that's probably the nicest on the Eastern Sierra. We go 4 directions: Hilton Lakes, Little Lakes Valley, the Tamarack area, beautiful lakes and meadows. And you have all the campgrounds in Rock Creek. And you have Rock Creek Lake Resort. There's only been 3 owners since the 30s, and they make the best brisket in the world, is what people say. And they're known for their pies and brisket. We've been here since 47. I'm 71. I was born in 54, came up here 3 days after that. So a 10 to 4 ride, that's going to cost you about $180.
Okay.
And that includes lunch.
Yeah.
If you're going to take a fully outfitted trip where we're providing the cook, the food, a riding animal, it's $450 to $500 a day.
Right.
No place better to be in the world than the Sierra Nevada in the month of August.
Oh, absolutely.
Best weather.
Yep.
So anyhow, thanks for visiting.
Yeah, thank you, Craig. Great to meet you.
Thank
Yes.
you, Craig. Appreciate it.
You're
Yeah.
welcome.
Imagine living up here for 71 years. We're doing a quick scout of the trailhead for tomorrow's hike. It's less about the parking and more about how we're handling the altitude. We're not repeating our last mistake. Apparently, the future is here in the High Sierra. And apparently, no parking signs don't apply when your truck looks like it can enter orbit. So, the scouting mission is a success. It confirms that trying to hike here on a weekend is a fool's errand. Our plan to come back tomorrow on Monday is looking smarter by the minute. So besides the epic hike, what else is there to do in Rock Creek Canyon? It turns out quite a lot. For starters, there's Rock Creek Lake itself. It has a great public boat launch, so it's easy to get a kayak or little fishing boat out on the water. And even if you don't have a boat, the fishing from the shore is fantastic. We're joining my brother Mike to see if we can tempt a few of the local trout. And apparently, we can. If you're not in an RV, there's the historic Rock Creek Lodge. Some of these cabins go all the way back to the 1920s, offering a totally different kind of mountain stay. And we hear they serve a pretty good breakfast, too. And of course, there's always the option to just do nothing. To pull up a chair, soak in this incredible scenery, and just be. So whether it's fishing, exploring, or just relaxing, this canyon offers plenty to do. But for us, one of the best parts of any day on the road is coming home to the trailer to cook up a great meal. And let me tell you, on this trip, we're eating good. Leave us a comment and tell us what you like to cook when you're on the road. It's just after 8 a.m., which on a weekend would be hopelessly late for a trailhead this popular. We're gambling that the Monday crowd is a little smaller and keeping our fingers crossed for parking. And it looks like our gamble pays off. The lot is definitely busy for a Monday, but we spot an open space or two. So we're starting this hike already down one piece of gear. I'm still kicking myself for leaving the main camera at the trailer. Unbelievable. But we're not going back for it, so the other cameras will just have to step up today. We grab the obligatory trailhead photo, and then it's time to go. Those first few steps of a big hike are always the most exciting. This trail starts at high altitude, but the gentle grade is the key. In theory, we should be okay this time. And then we see this sign, and the memory of Big Pine Creek just comes flooding back. Seeing that exact sign is the last thing I remember before we had to turn around. Talk about a little salt in the wound. But we shake it off. We're feeling much better acclimated this time, and with the scenery this incredible pulling us forward, you just have to see what's over the next rise. Now this is where you don't want to make a wrong turn. Mono Pass has over 2,000 feet of elevation gain and is a 9-mile round trip. We're feeling better today, but not that much better. And this is the magic of the Little Lakes Valley Trail. The very first lake you come to, Mac Lake, is a worthy destination all on its own. And the wild thing is, this is just the beginning. The trail really mellows out after that first little climb. It's mostly flat through this section, with just a few easy rock hops to get across the little streams. We're taking a quick detour here. It looks like there's a better angle on Marsh Lake down by the water, and we hope to grab a good reflection shot. Back on the main trail now, and the views just keep escalating. Around every bend is a new layer of granite and pines, each one more impressive than the last. And now, the character of the trail starts to shift. We start following this little stream that feeds Heart Lake, and its water creates a vibrant green oasis in the middle of all this granite. So we arrive at the iconic Heart Lake, and honestly, we're not quite seeing the heart. It's one of those landmarks you probably need a drone or a view from a high peak to really appreciate the shape. That is, if you could fly a drone here in the wilderness. And would you look at that? Everything Craig was telling us about comes to life right here on the trail. Here comes one of his pack trains, likely headed in to resupply a group or bring them back out of the wilderness. It's amazing how sure-footed these animals are. They just pick their way through this rocky, uneven trail like it's a paved sidewalk. Okay, a new theme is developing on this hike. Lakes named after shapes we can't actually see. This is Box Lake, and just like Heart Lake, we're definitely not seeing a box. But hey, we're not complaining. Box-shaped or not, a view like this is always a win. We keep crossing paths with his father and son out enjoying the day. We get to chatting for a bit, and the father tells us he's been coming to fish these lakes for over 20 years. It's amazing to see that tradition being passed down. It never ceases to amaze me, watching an expert work their magic with a fly rod. It's like they're painting on the water. And after a few miles of steady hiking, we arrive at Long Lake. And guess what? The name actually fits. This one really is long. And now it's time for the reward, a well-deserved lunch with a view. The only problem is finding a spot to sit that isn't a sharp piece of granite. Okay, we managed to find one rock that's relatively flat. We have our table, but the seating leaves a little something to be desired. The chairs may be granite, but the view is 5-star. This right here, this is why we do this. The trail keeps going from here, up to Chicken Foot and Gem Lakes, but this is our turnaround spot. We're feeling great, and this is where we want to call it a win. No need to push our luck with the altitude. Although, I am curious if Chicken Foot Lake actually looks like a chicken's foot. Maybe next time. This is why I love an out and back hike. You think you've seen it all, but then you turn around, the afternoon light hits the mountains differently, and you think you're walking through a whole new valley. And this is the part of the hike where you're feeling really smart for grabbing a spot up here. Knowing our truck is right here instead of a mile down the road is the best reward of all. What a perfect hike! All told, it's about 4.5 miles with just 500 feet of climbing. We're feeling accomplished, successful, and now it's time to celebrate. And there's only one place in this canyon to properly do that. After a long hike, the Rock Creek Resort is a truly welcome sight. Let's see what they have left. Hopefully that includes a cold beer. We're a little too late for the famous brisket, but our eyes go straight to the dessert list anyway. That mixed berry cobbler is definitely calling our name. After a long hike, there's one luxury that's always on your mind, a real restroom. The only trick here is you have to go on a little scavenger hunt out back behind the main building to find it. Now most of the seating is in a big tented area to the side, but the real pro move is to snag a spot on this little balcony. The view from up here is on another level. And, for the record, yes, they do have cold beer. So what did we decide on? And here it is, the perfect post-hike combination. A simple hot dog and salad followed by a warm mixed berry cobbler, a la mode. It really doesn't get much better than this. And man, this is a tasty end to a long day on the trail. From the tough setup to our 4 furry stowaways, to facing down our own limits on the trail, this trip really throws a little bit of everything at us. But that's what this is all about, embracing the challenges and soaking in the reward of a view like this. Thanks so much for coming along with us on this one. We love sharing these kinds of days with you all. And if you're enjoying the journey, hitting that like button really helps the channel, and subscribing means you'll be right there with us for the next one. We've got a lot more of the Eastern Sierra to explore. Until then, we'll see you out on the road.